I'm a very firm believer that there's a space for everyone's voice in this industry, whether it's YouTube or through photography. And I just think it's very important to just be your authentic self. I think if you try to emulate anybody else, you're only going to be the second best version of that, whereas you can be the best version of yourself. So just go for it.
Hello, and welcome to the She Clicks Women in Photography podcast. I'm Angela Nicholson, and I'm the founder of She Clicks, which is a community for female photographers. In these podcasts, I talk with women in the photographic industry to hear about their experiences, what drives them, and how they got to where they are now. This episode is with Emily Lowrey, who started her photographic career as a wedding photographer and who is now the driving force behind the Micro Four Nerds YouTube channel. Hi Emily, thank you so much for joining me today on the She Clicks Women in Photography podcast. It's really great to have the opportunity to chat with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. I love She Clicks. I think it's amazing, and I'm really happy to be a part of it today.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, our paths normally cross at secret squirrel briefings with camera manufacturers, and we don't usually get much chance to actually chat. So this is going to be really nice.
Yeah, it's so true. That and at the AP Awards, when you guys win the awards, and I'm like, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that's always fun. All right. So can we start by hearing about how you first got into photography?
Yeah. So I attribute photography to, not to be dramatic about it, but making me the person I am today. I was cripplingly shy. When I was younger, and the way that I would go to like family events and things, I would be the nerd that would sit in the corner and take pictures, and I was really, really shy, and I kind of used my camera as a way to sort of interact with people and gain confidence, and it's just sort of blossomed from there really. My dad was big into photography, so we'd go and do like little hikes and do landscape photography together, and then I decided, despite being cripplingly shy, that it would be a great idea to become a wedding photographer.
Okay.
Which I did for about 12 years. And then I transitioned over to YouTube. So yeah, it's been a big fundamental part of my life, both for work and also like self-development as well.
So what sort of age were you when you first discovered that you could hide behind a camera?
Oh, maybe very shy, like 17. Like I used to make my mum go to the ice cream van for me. Like I was that shy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I started off on a little Sony bridge camera, and then just found a love of tiny weird cameras very quickly, and found like a Pentax Q with all the tiny lenses. I was like, I can fit that into my bag and take it with me all the time. This is amazing. So it's been my whole life really.
Okay. And how did you go from being sort of a keen hobbyist hiding behind a camera to actually becoming a wedding photographer? Did you study formally or anything?
Never, actually. I was taken under the wing of a local wedding photographer who we went to the same school. And I just sort of reached out to her and I was like, can I be your assistant? Can I be your second photographer? Don't pay me. And I did a couple of them, maybe 6 or 7 weddings, and sort of realized how it works, how you can interact with people, best practices. And then I thought, let's give it a go. Let's jump in and see what happens. And then I think it was a transitional period of a good few years where I went from part-time to full-time. And then once I managed to get full-time, it touch wood, it was very successful. I did that for about 10 years. It was amazing.
Brilliant. So were you doing any other part-time work at the same time when you were sort of moving into wedding photography?
I was. Weirdly, how it's all worked out, because I shoot Panasonic now. I worked for Panasonic, but for the television division.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a little shop in John Lewis, and I was like, here's a lovely television. And it was all very dry and very boring. But I spent most of the time over at the camera cabinet, and that's where I was like, ooh, there's an Olympus Pen F. Let me save up all my money and buy this off display.
So it's interesting for someone who was so shy at 17 to be, in a shop, be a public-facing person, and to do wedding photography where you're constantly interacting with people. That's quite a transition.
Honestly, all of my family just, because I'm YouTube full-time now, they're just like, I cannot believe you wouldn't even speak to anyone, and now you're in front of a camera for a living.
Yeah.
But I think I recognized very early on that it was a problem to be so anxious and shy. So, oh God, every time I was in the shop when I first started, like my little heart would turn over when I approached a customer. And then you just get in a position where you have to do it 50 times a day. And then your comfort zone just grows. And I think that really helped with wedding photography and everything as well. Slow and steady.
Exposure therapy.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, me too. So when and how and why did you launch your YouTube channel?
So it was when I was in, as I got the Pen F, my first Micro Four Thirds camera, and I was like, why is nobody speaking about this? This is blooming amazing. And because my wedding photography business was very seasonal, when it came around to winter, I was like, well, I've got a little bit of time. Maybe I should try and sort of do YouTube in the winter, weddings through the summer. And then it was just a slow transition from there, really, where YouTube picked up and I could transition over.
Has much changed in YouTube since you started?
So much. I think I was very lucky. I think maybe 2017 when I started my channel. And it was very much like, it wasn't so much of a big business idea. People would just get on the camera and just chat about what they were passionate about. And there was never like, oh, one day I'll get a sponsorship or one day a brand will send me something. It was more just people not really knowing what the heck they were doing and just having fun with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely evolved, and I'm very privileged and happy that it can be a job now. But yeah, it was never my intention. I just wanted to be a nerd.
Yeah. And it was a bit of a bear pit in early days. Some of the comments that used to, not necessarily you specifically, but people used to receive were really horrendous.
Very much so. And I think it's definitely shifting now, as you will know, with SheClicks. But a lot of men don't often like women talking in the space. And sometimes they like, that's not right. Let me explain this to you.
Yeah. It has changed, thankfully, quite a bit.
So much so. Yeah. And it's so much better now. But yeah, we did get a little bit of that. In the wedding industry, we'd call them Uncle Bobs.
Oh, yes.
There was always an Uncle Bob with a camera that's like, oh, what are you doing?
Please excuse this interruption. This episode is brought to you by Seawe, Europe's leading photo printing company, and their hero product, the Seawe Photo Book, that is the proud recipient of the Which Best Buy Award. You know those thousands of photos sitting on your phone or hard drive? With a Seawe Photo Book, you can turn your memories into a beautiful, high-quality album that you'll want to show off. Every page is fully customisable, and you can pick from a range of sizes, finishes and layouts, designing every detail with their easy-to-use editor or let their smart assistant help. So if you're ready to do something real with your photos, head over to seawe.co.uk. That's cewe.co.uk. Okay, let's get back to the show. These days, what does your ideal day look like? What do you wake up and you see on the calendar and think, yes?
Oh, good question. I definitely prefer being out and about trying something new, whether that's a new lens or a new to me camera. It could be 10 years old, I don't mind. I really, I love photography in terms of like the composition, and I always get that buzz when I get a really good photograph and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. But I am a bit of a tech nerd as well. So if there is a new piece of technology or a new lens, I'm like, yeah, it really does inspire me a lot.
You and me both. Yeah, I love getting hold of new stuff and thinking, oh, what can this do? And oh, what's that for? And how do I use this?
Exactly. So yeah, if I'm out and about shooting, and then the other half of the month is sort of scripting and filming and then editing. But yeah, it's the bit where I'm out capturing and gathering my thoughts that just feels really exciting, and it never gets old. Like if a camera company sends me something to test, it's like, what a wonderful thing. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is great. Do you still call yourself a photographer? You're not a content creator or a videographer?
Oh, do you know, it's a blurred line, isn't it? Because I think I don't mind calling myself a photographer because I have made a living in the past just solely through photography. But I think I just like the word camera nerd. That's in all of my bios. It sums me up. I'm a little bit of everything.
Fair enough. And why Micro Four Thirds? I mean, I know that's where you started out, but why have you stuck with that specifically?
So I coming from my background where I used photography every day for building confidence and just documenting my life, I really always gravitated towards smaller cameras. And because I know how much photography's helped me in the past, I think like championing the idea of everyday photography really excites me. And I like that Micro Four Thirds cameras and older cameras are usually more affordable, so more accessible to more people, and still blooming brilliant. I mean, the truth of it is, like, cameras have been good for a long time. You don't always have to spend thousands and thousands. And I really like, hopefully, inspiring people to go out and try photography. And I've seen all the benefits firsthand. So yeah, Micro Four Thirds is just that perfect sweet spot of affordability and portability.
Yeah. I mean, generally in business, they say that niche is good. And so you found your niche. But do you ever sort of look over the other side, think, oh, I wish I could branch out into that? Or do you just do it anyway?
Sometimes I do it anyway. Like, I'm very lucky to be able to try some of the full frame Panasonic cameras from time to time, like the Lumix S9, for example. And I do get the people in the comments going, full frame nerds.
Doesn't have the same ring.
No, and it's very funny because if I review like a Fujifilm camera, for example, no one minds if it's APS-C, but the magical full frame barrier just blows people's minds. I like to say genuinely I'm sensor agnostic because, like, when I was shooting weddings, I have shot weddings on Micro Four Thirds, but I have shot them mostly on full frame. It's just the right tool for the right job.
Do you find it tricky to balance your desire to create content with, being a photographer and general life? Just general life, I suppose. Or is it easy for you?
Do you know, it's oh God, cry me a river. What a first world problem. I was away for a weekend for my husband's birthday recently, and I was determined to just take photographs for me and not think, oh, I could take a camera while I'm going, I could take a lens while I'm going and review it. And then I spent the whole time like taking photographs on this little compact camera, and I'm just like, this is so good, I'm going to make a video about it.
Yeah.
So I do think even when I try and step away from it, I end up enjoying it and wanting to share what I've discovered usually.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think a number of times, oh yeah, going away for a weekend, I'll just put that in. Oh, I'll take this. And maybe, what about those lenses and that filter? And, before you know it, you're doing a full test while you're away. But
oh yeah, I have a carry-on full of camera equipment and like one item of clothing. It's so bad.
Oh dear. What would you say has been your biggest challenge in your career to date?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think keeping consistent on YouTube can sometimes be very challenging. Not to get too sad, but like last month, my very elderly dog passed away.
Oh.
And I was just like, the last thing I want to do is get in front of the camera and be like, hey, this lens is amazing. But that's the aim of the game, isn't it? If I'm contracted for certain brands to have certain deadlines, people in a traditional job would have exactly the same thing. But thankfully, it's very few and far between. I'm very happy to do what I do, but sometimes it can be like, life gets in the way sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. I guess, the run up to Christmas, when you sort of think it would be kind of nice to have Christmas, maybe Boxing Day off, but you probably want to schedule some stuff to come afterwards or maybe on the day.
Yeah, it's so true because Christmas is like, so many people are going to be at home with time to kill. So some of the best performing videos of the year tend to be in December. And then January, new year, new me, people don't watch as much. So yeah, you've got to, like, my theory is if I can just work hard in December and then take January off, that might be the best solution.
Yeah. When you say take January off, of course, you mean just spend it testing things that you're in denial about.
Oh, yeah. What I did last January, for example, is film a workshop. So it's just changing gears, just not online.
And on the flip side, what would you say has been your biggest achievement to date? What are you most proud of?
Oh, so a couple of years, maybe 2 years ago, YouTube themselves reached out to me. They had a European campaign called Make It on YouTube, and they paid me to just tell my story on YouTube about YouTube. And I'm just like, if you'd have told, Emily of the past that YouTube would sponsor a video, it's just like, what? So yeah, that was definitely a pinch me moment.
Fantastic. That is really great. Yeah. What do you think led them to you specifically?
So I don't know. I think maybe I'm quite irreverent on camera. It's very much not a spec read. I think I try to put a lot of my personality into my videos. And I think maybe I'm not a traditional makeup influencer. I'm just a woman potentially more of a man's field on YouTube. So maybe they thought it was an interesting story to highlight.
Yeah, sounds good. Now, what would be your advice to anyone who's thinking about starting a YouTube channel in 2025?
Oh, so first of all, I think very long and hard about what specifically you're passionate about, because like it or loathe it, if a video takes off in a certain genre, that's the content that you're going to continue to make. So if you're all over the place and a random video about something that you're only slightly interested in is the thing that your channel gets known for, you've backed yourself into a corner. So yeah, I'm very lucky with photography, where I don't think you could ever run out of things to say. There's always things to discuss and products and advice. But yeah, think about the trajectory you want to go in, even if it's just for a hobby. On the off chance that it takes off and it becomes your job, like I didn't think it ever would. Pick your niche very carefully is what I would say.
Okay, yeah, I think that's probably very wise advice. Well, I think it's a great time now to go to 6 from She Clicks. So I've got 10 questions from She Clickers. I would like you to answer 6 of them, please, by picking numbers from 1 to 10. So could I have your first number?
Number 3.
Number 3. If you had a dinner party and you could invite any female photographer from any time in history, who would it be and why? That question's from Penny.
Oh, that's an amazing question.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, there's a lot of people in the wedding photography industry that really pioneered it to be like a female-led industry. And I would love to pick the brains of some of the women that really made that a safe space for women and changed the values of wedding photography. I'm calling an absolute blank on the names, so I'm absolutely going to be a cop-out for this question.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to those people and ask, like, was it strange coming up when it wasn't quite as well known that women photographers in that niche was a big thing? I think it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. So it's relatively recent era you're talking about.
Yeah, I think so. I think even when I started, it was very male dominated, and I've worked with a lot of men and a lot of women in the industry, and there's a lot of very talented men in the industry. Of course there is. I think sometimes women are better at posing and getting in on the excitement a little bit more, in my experience, and that translates so well to the photography in the wedding industry.
Yeah. Maybe Kate Kirkman, formerly Kate Hopewell Smith. She'd probably be a good one to have a chat with, I think.
Absolutely. And one of my wonderful wedding photography mentors is a woman called Emma Wilson. She has Story of Your Day. I did a workshop with her in Switzerland, and I just find the ethos she has, it is video rather than photography, but I think a lot of the skills translate. Her thing is like, find the story of the day and really tell the couple's story. It's not a box ticking exercise. It's finding the individual story that they can empathize with. I think she had a background in BBC journalism, so she attacked it in a very different way. And I love her videos. I think they're jaw-dropping.
Okay, yeah, good idea, I think. So can I have your second number, please?
Number 1.
Number 1. What would you tell your younger self if you were starting out your photography journey or your YouTube channel today? That question's from Sue.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I think one thing I think about very often, I've just got my 100,000 subscriber play button just this week.
Very nice.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't even think I'd get 100 subscribers. So I think I would tell my younger self to just persevere, even at times when it seems like you're just spinning your wheels, particularly during COVID. I had a proper just like hibernation phase where I just wanted to give everything up, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. But yeah, just absolutely just keep persevering. And it's about showing up and learning a little bit more from every video or every photo shoot and just getting a little bit better. And you're only in competition with yourself.
I was on a podcast a while ago and they asked me what would a similar sort of question. And I said, just go for it. And they said, actually, most of the women who went on that podcast, when they were asked that question, said, just go for it. Because I think we spend so much time dithering and not really sort of, and worrying about stuff. Sometimes you just got to have that kick up the backside, maybe from yourself, maybe from a partner or a friend, and just give it a go, because you don't quite know where it leads. But if you stop, it won't go anywhere.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm a very firm believer that there's a space for everyone's voice in this industry, whether it's YouTube or through photography. And I just think it's very important to just be your authentic self. And if in my instance, I collect weird tiny cameras, I take photographs of the back of people's heads because I used to be very shy. It's a unique perspective. I think if you try to emulate anybody else, you're only going to be the second best version of that, whereas you can be the best version of yourself. So just go for it. I like that.
Absolutely. Okay. So could I have your third number, please?
Number 6.
Number 6. What is the most challenging project you've worked on and why? That's from Marie-Ange.
Ooh. So I had a very lucky set of circumstances where I went on safari in Kenya, and it coincided with the Lumix G9 II launch, which was the wildlife photography flagship. And they reached out and they wanted me to do all of the tutorial videos for that camera and sort of, really have a key part in the launch, which is a complete pinch me moment.
Yeah, wow.
It was crazy. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's go. I'll review these lenses and I'll compare it to these cameras. And being in safari and being out in the Jeep for like 10 hours a day whilst trying to script and figure out what the heck I'm going to do and have sketchy Wi-Fi and try and editing videos but on the generator back at camp. I think I definitely bit off a little bit more than I could chew for that project. But I'm really proud of the videos, really proud of the photography. And yeah, I can say that I was once sort of the face of one of my favourite camera brands' launches, which is insane.
Fabulous. And you did chew it.
Yeah.
You did swallow it. So yeah, well done. That's great. So could I have your fourth number, please?
Number 10.
What's the most valuable piece of advice you've received in connection with your work? That question's from Liz.
Oh, so I think in terms of advice, it's kind of what I said previously, where you shouldn't try to emulate other people. I think you could learn techniques, like if you want to go out and try long exposure photography, for example, there are set rules that we need to follow. But if you go out and try and copy someone's photograph that you've seen in a book or on Instagram, aside from like a learning exercise, you're not developing your own skill. And I think learning your own skills and your own what you gravitate towards, like analyzing what you shoot and be like, why have I photographed these things? Why do these patterns keep reoccurring? And then you can go out and sort of hone your own skills and your own taste and create your own photography style, which is a lifetime's work, by the way. I'm not saying I'm there yet.
That sounds like very good advice. It also sounds like advice that didn't come from Uncle Bob.
Definitely not. Uncle Bob was not involved in that advice.
Before he said you want to use a different aperture. Or I've got a bigger lens than that.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, let's move on. What's your fifth number, please?
Number 9, please.
Number 9. Is your current business and lifestyle what you visualised at the outset, or has it been less structured, more of a natural evolution? That question's from Philippa.
So when I was in the thick of being a full-time wedding photographer and videographer, I capped myself at 35 weddings a year, which, as you can imagine, between the editing and sourcing and meetings and everything, is a very full-on schedule. And it meant no weekends, no time spending with friends and family. So when I thought that YouTube could be a full-time thing, I wanted to set some boundaries and keep as many weekends as I could free. And one thing that I adore about my current schedule is I can work from anywhere in the world. Isn't that a pinch me thing? Like just this year, I went to Iceland with my dad, and I've been to Japan, and I went to Finland and Valencia, and it's crazy. So yeah, I think it's not even, it's beyond my expectations, to be honest. I think it's a fantastic schedule, and I do sometimes pinch myself. But yeah, it wasn't all part of the plan. I've very much got here by accident.
Yeah. But I think it's great that you set yourself some boundaries to sort of like protect your private life, or, so your mental health, and to give yourself some space.
Definitely, as much as possible, because I think because what I'm doing is a creative thing, whether that's scripting or coming up with different ideas or the photography aspect of it. If you do deplete yourself and wear yourself very thin, then the quality overall is going to suffer anyway. You've got to keep the cup half full, I think.
Just top it up a little bit at a time.
Absolutely.
All right. So could I have your last question, please?
Number 7.
Number 7. What is your go-to lens that is never missing from your camera bag? That question's from Gisela.
Oh, brilliant. So I just done a video on this actually, so I'm like really excited about it. So the Lumix 20mm f1.7, that's a micro four thirds lens. So in full frame terms, it's a 40mm focal length. And I just think for an everyday focal length for walking around, it's just that sweet spot where it's not too wide, so you don't feel like you're intruding on anyone, but it's not too narrow, so you can use it for landscapes and street photography. And yeah, the 20mm in micro four thirds is my absolute favourite, and it's a tiny little lens and it's great.
I do love a little pancake lens.
That's it. There should be more. There absolutely should be more. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
Oh, it's been amazing. I'm just so happy to be here, and what wonderful, insightful questions as well. Wonderful.
Well, She Clickers, they've always got some good questions.
They're on the ball. I like it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the She Clicks Women in Photography podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Special thanks to everyone who sent in a question. You'll find links to Emily's social media channels and website in the show notes. I'll be back with another episode soon, so please subscribe to the show on your favourite podcast platform and tell all your friends and followers about it. You'll also find She Clicks on Facebook, X, Instagram and YouTube if you search for She Clicks Net. So until next time, enjoy your photography.